Hey, what's going on? This is Nick back with the Life Recreated podcast. I'm a mental health advocate helping you to learn, heal, and grow on your journey. And on this segment, I wanted to do something a little bit different, and I call this the Recreated Reflections. And if you'd offer me a moment, I'd love to share with you some of the lessons that I've learned from last week and some of the impacts that they can make. So, as recording this episode, this is the beginning of the new year, and during that time period, especially during the holidays, we're spending time with family, we're spending time with our loved ones. And so these lessons that I actually learned and kind of implemented in my life, and I plan on implementing in my life, came from some of these conversations with family. And so I think that these lessons, some of the things that came out of some of these conversations that I had can be very helpful if we apply it to our lives and apply it to our relationships and improving some of those relationships. So, first lesson, where did this come from? So, like I said, it was during the holiday time period when I kind of discovered some of these. And the first one came from a conversation I had with my grandma, my grandma. So my grandma now, she'll be 94 this year. And so as we got together for the holidays, I decided to take the time and just interview my grandma. I wanted to sit down with her. I busted out a camera, a couple microphones, and sat down with grandma, and I said, you know what, grandma, I want to ask you some questions. I want to know, what life is about. I want to know what you think about life. I want to know what your experience has been. I think one of the things that I'm realizing as I'm getting up there in age is how important it is for us to talk to those that have gone before us, our elders, and get some wisdom from them, because they have, wisdom that cannot compare to all the information that you can learn on the internet is great, all that's good, but when you sit down with somebody that has lived life and that has experienced life, that's a whole different ball game, because they're able to share some nuggets with you. And so I sat down with my grandmother, and we just did a really simple interview. And as we were sitting there, I wanted to ask her some questions about her life, what that experience was like for her. I wanted to start all the way back in the beginning from when she was a little girl. She was born in the 1930s, and just what that was all about, man. And it was such a fulfilling conversation to me, because I felt like, number one, for my grandma, it gave her the opportunity to be honored, and it gave her the opportunity to share her life and her story. I always say this. I say, one of the most important things that we can share with the world is our story, what we've gone through, what we've experienced, because we don't know how those moments and how those stories that we share could impact others. And so she sat down and she began to start telling me some amazing stories I didn't even know about, right? Stories about things that she was doing as a woman in the 60s and then, the 50s and the 60s that were amazing. Career decisions she was making. This lady was running, million-dollar projects as an accountant, as a bookkeeper, and raising four children at the same time. She's just doing some amazing things. And she began to start telling me, all these different stories. And towards the end of our conversation, we were winding down, and I said, okay, grandma, look, you're 93 at the time of recording this. You'll be 94 next year. I said to her, give me a piece of wisdom. Give me something that I can take as your grandson and really just lodge it into my heart and lodge it into to my life and what I need to know and how I need to grow. And I'm thinking in my head, once I ask that question, I'm thinking, okay, what is my grandma gonna say to this question? What is her response gonna be? And is it gonna be some I was thinking, is it gonna be some wisdom, deep wisdom from years of Jamaican wisdom and Jamaican tradition. And I was just on the edge of my seat, just ready to hear, like, okay, boom, she's gonna give me some wisdom and some nuggets that are gonna make me wealthy. They're gonna change my whole life. And she sat and she looked at me and she paused and she said 4 words. She said, Nick, 93 years of life, the best piece of advice I can give you is to simply love God and love others. Love God, love others. And I said, wow. I said, that's it? She said, yeah. She said, I've gone through and experienced so many things. She talked in our conversation about losses that she experienced as a young girl, losses she experienced in her adulthood, difficulties in marriage, difficulties in life. And she said, Nick, without love, without me loving God, and without me learning how to love others, she was like, I wouldn't have made it through those difficulties. And it stuck out to me because so many times, especially in our generation, in our world, we're always looking for the quick fix. We're always looking for that one little thing that, if we can just do this or get this one thing right, it's going to change our whole lives. And out of 93 years of living, she told me all I need to do is just love God and love others. And then I said, okay, Grandma, if that's the wisdom you're going to give me, there's got to be a reason for it. And that's the wisdom that I'm going to take, to love God and to love others. The second lesson that I learned last week came from my daughter. My children teach me a lot about life. They teach me a lot about myself. They teach me about a lot that I need to work on and improve. And they teach me so many different things, even though they may not know it, they may not recognize it. But, I'm always observing, I'm always watching, I'm always trying to understand, why they respond a certain way, how they respond a certain way. And I'm always just they're to me, they're just a wealth of just wisdom that I can learn from, because they're the younger version of myself. And as a parent now, I start to look at how important it is to, cultivate that relationship with them and so many different things. But anyway, this lesson came out of, we're at home. My daughter is, she's in this phase right now where she is just learning the piano. I mean, amazing. She's teaching herself different things and, learning how to play all these things. And, if you know me and my family, my wife, she's the musician. I let her handle all the music stuff. Let me handle all the logistics, right? And so my daughter has picked up on that same habit and same spirit that my wife has as far as when it comes to music. And so I'm upstairs, I'm laying in my bedroom and I'm just laying, just kicking it, just chilling out. And I hear my daughter downstairs and she's playing a little tune and it sounds amazing. I mean, she's adding like little things to the song and just, you know what I mean? It's just, I'm just proud of her. I'm just like, man, this girl sounds good. And, after about 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes or so of her playing, she comes upstairs and she says to me, she says, Daddy, do you want to hear my song? And, as a parent, sometimes we don't pick up on when our kids are asking us for certain things. We kind of look at it as like, oh man, I'm in the middle of something. At the time, I think I might have been reading something or, and so my initial response to her was, yeah, I heard it, Vanessa. I heard you playing your song. And I was like, it sounded great. It sounded good. But I'm looking at her and I recognize her countenance, her face changing. She was a little bit down at the fact that I didn't want to listen to her, or the fact that she thought that I didn't want to listen to her. And I saw that happen in her body language and her change. And an emotion came up in me that said, okay, something, I missed something here, right? There was something that I missed in what my daughter was asking me to do. Like, and it was a split second thing. And I was like, man, okay, you know what? Let me just get up. How much time is it gonna cost me to really get up and go downstairs? So I got up, went downstairs. She played the song. It sounded amazing. And I was proud of her. I gave her a little fist bump. I said, yeah, you did great. You know, man, that sounds good. I said, man, keep working on it. Just keep getting better at it. And she felt proud. She was good. And her whole countenance went back to this pride and excitement of wanting to show her father something. And as I was walking out of my wife's studio in the music room, I recognized this lesson. And it was the fact that my kids want me to, and they need me to, invest my attention, not just my intention. See, I have the intention that I want to be a good father. I want to be a loving father. I want to be a supportive father. And that's good and that's great. But I can't invest my intention in a way that will show my daughter that that's who I want to be without taking the time to invest my attention into what she's doing. Taking my time and saying, you know what, I'm going to focus on what you're showing me. I'm going to put distractions away and I'm going to focus my attention on what you're trying to show me right now, what you're trying to provide to me as a daughter, because you need my attention. My intention, I could tell you all day until I'm blue in the face that I want to be a good dad for you. But if you don't see me invest time in giving you attention, you'll never believe that. And so it was a lesson that I learned out of walking away from that. And I said, my kids need me to invest the time of attention, not just intention, into their lives. And not only do I think this is a lesson that I can apply to my daughter and my relationship with my children, but it's a lesson that I can apply to every relationship in my life. My wife, I can say I want to be a great husband, want to be a loving husband, but if I don't give my wife the attention that she needs, then all that intention, it's not, I mean, at the end of the day, it ain't gonna make up for the lack of attention. And so that was my big lesson there when it comes to my relationships and it comes to what I invest. The people around us that we love, that we care for, they need us to invest our attention into their lives, not just the intention. So recreated reflections. Look, as I reflect back on this week, those were the two lessons that I learned. And I appreciate you taking the time to sit with me and allow me to share those lessons with you. I'm curious down below. Let me know what you thought about those. What you think about loving God, loving others, right? Sounds like a scripture in the Bible that's very familiar. And then what do you think about learning how to invest your attention, not just your intention, into your relationships and the others that you love? Well, this has been Nick with the Life Recreated podcast. Until next time, keep learning, keep healing, and keep growing. Peace.